Hey all, welcome to Share Trek. This is Raj here. I hope you guys have had a great weekend and you're ready for this new week to get started. Hopefully the markets will recover. They have been very bad in the last week and genomic shares have definitely suffered a lot. We look forward to better times. That said, if you recollect, I had mentioned that my plan was not only to cover our watch list, but also to look at disease verticals such as diabetes, cholesterol, SCD, and HIV, and so on. The reason behind that was that in our original approach, we were just looking at our genomic companies, one company at a time. And at the most, we were comparing the progress of sickle cell disease therapy or beta thalassemia therapy between our genomic companies. But we were not looking at other companies which are not using gene editing, but who would probably use gene therapy or monoclonal antibodies or some other approach to provide not a once and done, but a recurring therapy which is superior to what is currently available in the market. So I think we need to be aware of those because those kind of therapies are likely to be more palatable to the spectrum of patients who are looking for solutions to their problems. Not everyone is going to be able to afford the gene therapy, which is very expensive, or a CRISPR edited therapy, which costs maybe $400,000 or $500,000 for a once and done therapy. So that said, today I want to focus on a cholesterol related condition. Basically, I'm talking about lipoprotein A, which is very, very closely related to what cholesterol does to your heart and the related risk factors. As you're aware, Verve 101 is under hold by FDA, while Verve Therapeutics scrambles to provide answers to FDA queries. In those queries, if Verve is able to satisfactorily answer FDA, the hold may be lifted. I personally feel that most of the 5 questions that FDA asked Verve to reply are likely to be answered satisfactorily. The only one where I have a bit of a concern is the question regarding risk of germline editing, because I was reading in the definition of base editing that it can edit cells regardless of whether it is a dividing cell or non-dividing cell. That's the reason why I have this concern. Of course, guys, you know that I'm an investor, not a scientist or a doctor or a biochemist. So maybe my fears are unfounded, but I'm still going to look forward to Verve coming back quickly with a reply to FDA, especially with regard to the germline edit risk. That said, the competition is not sitting idle. We're going to dig deeper into this. So let's get started. Welcome back, friends. We have Silence Therapeutics with a ticker symbol SLN on NASDAQ. Their SLN 360 therapy is in phase 1 clinical trials, though not in direct competition with Verve. SLN 360 is a gene therapy to prevent lipoprotein related ailments. SLN 360 is Silence Therapeutics' wholly owned siRNA or short interfering RNA in development for high lipoprotein A or LPA, genetically determined cardiovascular risk factor affecting 20% of the world's population. SLN 360 is a gene silencing therapy, one that is designed to temporarily block a specific gene's message that would otherwise trigger an unwanted effect. In this case, it aims to silence LPA, a gene that tells the body to make a specific protein that is only found in lipoprotein A. By silencing the LPA gene, the levels of lipoprotein A are lowered, which in turn is expected to lower the risk of heart diseases, heart attacks, and strokes. SLN 360 is presently in the global Apollo phase 1 clinical program. The objective of the program is to assess the safety, tolerability, pharmacodynamic and pharmacokinetic response of SLN 360 in people with high LPA levels, that is high lipoprotein A levels. And those kind of people are at increased risk of premature heart disease, heart attack or stroke. SLN 360 has had no safety incidents in phase 1 clinical trials so far, despite having tested their lowest level to the highest level of dosage on the trial patients. The page for this therapy in clinicaltrials.gov shows that the last update was on September 13, 2022. As per the page, there will be 160 participants in the clinical trial. The study is estimated to start from December 2022, and the primary completion date is June 2024. If everything goes well, study completion day is targeted for November 2024. The only other therapy in their pipeline that they are evaluating is SLN124, which is in the Gemini 2 phase 1 study in adults with thalassemia. The adults who have thalassemia find that their bodies produce fewer healthy red blood cells than normal, and they end up storing too much of iron in their bodies. SLN124 has an orphan drug designation and also a rare pediatric drug designation from FDA for thalassemia. SLN124 is their wholly owned siRNA or short interfering RNA therapy in development for hematological diseases. Apart from those two siRNA therapies, Silence Therapeutics has 30 patents registered in their favor, with another 106 pending patent applications covering mRNAi Gold platform. This particular platform, in my personal opinion, is going to be a revenue generating platform for this company, apart from the therapies that they might develop. Let's take a quick look at their share price before we look at their financials, and then we'll come back to talk about our conclusion. Here we are in the chart for SLN. SLN gained 1.98%, 90% on Friday. And if you look at this chart, you may get confused a little bit because the chart has got all red candles and we are saying that there was a gain of $1.9. But that is because the share started at a low level. It came down and then it bounced back up again and came back down to settle somewhere above where it closed yesterday. So yesterday it had closed around this level out here, which is around 15.25, and right now on Friday, end of Friday, it was at 15.52. That shows a gain of 1.9%. So it seems to be in the men. And if you look at the overall chart, I have drawn two channels out here. One is the bottom channel, which is actually a support for this bull channel, and one is the top channel, which is this red line, which is the resistance for the bull channel. And the price action has been moving between these two bounds, and also the price channel has been moving very tightly around the 10-day simple moving average out here. So I'm expecting that we are going to cross over the 10-day simple moving average before trying to come back down again, and all along will be moving upwards in this bull channel. That is my expectation. The MACD is bearish at this point of time, but momentum is above average and still pointed further upwards. So it's in a good shape. Now let's quickly have a look at their financials. Here we are in Yahoo Finance, and we are looking at Silence Therapeutics. The share price was 15.52 at close, up 29 cents from Thursday. And I'm mainly interested in looking at their cash balance, so I'll directly go into their balance sheet. So we have a balance sheet out here, and in that I'm going to look at total assets. In the current assets, I'll find the cash balances, cash or cash equivalents, 73,537, and this number is in thousands. It's all British pounds in thousands. So they have increasing cash balance out here, so I'm okay with that. Yes, we are in the annual statement out here. We have statements from 2018 onwards all the way up to 2021, which is the previous year. And here we have the progress so far in the current year. And if we look at the total revenue, our revenue is more than what it was in 2021. And the revenue in 2021 was significantly higher than in the previous years. And also the cost of revenue has not increased as much as the revenue has increased. So that's a good positive. And also the gross profit has been higher. And in terms of operating expenses, the operating expenses so far are in the last quarter yet to go. We are not too bad compared to 2021. So that's also looking pretty decent. And let me look at the shares. Let us see where we have the shares. Basic average shares 29,650. There isn't too much of a dilution of the equity share, so that's also looking pretty okay. And if I was to go back into the TradingView platform and look at their previous earnings, the last quarter they exceeded the expectation on EPS by 58%, and they exceeded on revenue by 3.93%. And if we were to look at the previous quarter, again, there they exceeded the EPS by 19% and exceeded the revenue expectation by 4.32%. And the quarter before that, they exceeded the EPS by 44% and the revenue by 6.98%. So overall this year, they have exceeded on all parameters, and their price chart is also looking pretty good. The only thing is that they have just got 2 therapies in place, but they are also building intellectual property, the patents that they have. It's going to give them an advantage in the siRNA field. And I think overall the company looks pretty good. With that said, I think that the competition in the pharmaceutical field is, the therapy field is increasing drastically. While we are focused on gene editing and CRISPR and base and prime editing, there are companies which are trying to work around monoclonal antibodies. They're looking at siRNA and various other techniques in order to achieve the same goals. They may be less expensive and they may be frequently administered therapies, which may not be once and done, but still they are going to provide relief to the patient. So overall, I think the winner here is going to be the patient, because there will be competition between various therapies, and also there will be a menu of options for patients, right from the very affluent patient who can afford once and done high expense therapy to the less affluent patient who is probably going to look at a relief of, instead of having to take daily medication, maybe take a therapy which can keep them free of the ailment for another 4 years or 5 years, and then come back for another dose of the same therapy. So those kind of options are all likely to come up. So overall, I think the patient is going to be the winner. And also when there are multiple therapies with these kind of characteristics, then there is going to be some price competition. So that's also going to help the patient. And again, from a government and health administration perspective or health management perspective, it gives the policymakers a whole lot of tools to subsidize and provide health care for the citizens. So overall, I think the industry is proceeding in the right direction. And I'm hoping for the best for most people, because these kind of approaches, siRNA approaches and monoclonal antibody approaches can be deployed towards many other targets. And it can probably provide an earlier solution while we are waiting for the CRISPR and base editing therapies to get approved and come into the market. With that said, my friends, I would like to bring this video to an end. I hope you liked this. If you did, please do not hesitate to press a like out there. And if you're not yet subscribed, please subscribe and help us grow this channel. Thanks and have a great day. Bye for now.